Hi, I'm just going through Blazor web app with .NET 8, latest version currently, long-term version. .NET 9 is about to come. With Azure AD, B2C authentication we will be having. Azure Active Directory, B2C, business to customer, with custom claim, read and update all those operations. Okay, this is a plan we are doing. More details will be sharing either before this point or in different video or in the end of this. So let me go with Visual Studio 2022. I have currently. So Blazor web app, the name I'm just giving like this. Blazor web app R2 Azure AD B2C customer claim read update. Okay, quickly I'm making authentication type. By default it is having individual accounts and none, so better for the code clean purpose. If you choose individual accounts, then you have to remove a lot of stuff. So instead of that, better make it as none. The reason for that is when we go with what we call AD B2C authentication, UI, everything comes by the Azure. So the purpose of Azure AD is for the sake of it stores the user key informations and roles. Also, you can keep roles in the sense it's not like completely ASP.NET Core identity or Active Directory kind of. It is kind of a in between of these two. You have flexibility, you have simpleness, it is having scalability, is very high great features. Yeah, it's a different part. Let's go with this approach. So we can go with any mode, but any modes prefer to keep the code of this authentication in the server side. Okay, let me go with auto mode because this is .NET 8 new stuffs. Over the internet and all, if you search, we don't get much materials for this particular one. That is the reason I'm just going with auto mode. Nothing difference. If you go with server mode, also same thing. WebAssembly, it is little different. Maybe another videos or some different place. I'll just make it up. Per page component, you can just keep or global. It doesn't matter here. Better keep it on per page. Enlisting all these things. It's just kind of optional. No need to bother. .NET 8. I'm just going with this. Once we have the application onboarded, it is just plain default. Just build it quickly. Control Shift B. Yeah, it is not building. The reason is it's a very good example. I'm just bringing it up here. Many might have experienced it. Currently, what happened is the path of this folder is the file name is length, folder name, length, file name, everything becomes lengthy. So by default, Visual Studio supports not only Visual Studio, everybody have some limitations. Probably this limitation is like length of nearly it is what is that 190 characters. So it's a very bad coding convention, so better don't take up like this. So for that reason I just created another project just for the example of to address this issue, especially when we are doing this POC or something. We'll just end up the killing the time in this. Okay, let me close this up. So I just created another one, Azure R2 AD B2C attribute. The same thing, whatever I just shown, the same thing quickly. If I just open it up, the path is short. Okay, that's it. The path is this much. Usually this is length. I think it is not even 100. I hope. Yes, it is. One sec. Okay, so yeah, it is 83. You can see the column 83. So slash program.cs, even it is around 94. Totally, it will be under less than, I think 120 is the limit. I think, I'm not sure, but totally try to keep the shorter name and don't go for very too much nested level folders. Not only here, in multiple places you will face this problem, especially when you're running with multiple packages, all those stuffs. Okay, jump back to the solution. You just building it. Once you build it, immediately just checking this code to your any of the code repository. Always try to maintain any code repository, either Git, DevOps, or whatever, Azure DevOps, or whatever it is, something. For every stage, you just go with branchings or shell set or something. That is the how you can just save your time. If you are probably spent for 1 hour and just if you are wrong, just close it up, just clear and just use the previous shell set or previous branch. Okay, I'm quickly running it. It is localhost 7187. Yeah, it is running cool. Yeah. Regarding this configuration and all, yeah, the first step is the code has been committed to the GitHub branch, my public branch repository. I'll be just sharing it in this video details. Yeah, just updating custom user attributes in Azure B2C. It's a very nice explanation. Okay. It's very latest also, March 9, 2024. You can just refer to this. Very simple. Add the custom attribute rules and all. Okay. Before that, I'll just jump back to here. Few things are not added. I'll just try to address that. So, what is the point is, uh, in the main, when we are dealing with normal authentication, what happens is, usually when you do individual account authentication, normal way, your Blazor web app, any app, so it tries to interact directly with Google. When you do login or something, you will have the buttons, and Google you contact, and then once you complete, you will be just coming back to the app, back to app. Okay. So here Google just does, Google or Facebook or whatever, it's called identity provider. IDP short form is identity provider. Okay, the IDP, it just does authentication. Authentication means I am a valid user, nothing else I'm doing. Okay, so it won't maintain your any other information. So always, every time when you log in, you will get the latest information of whatever you it's stored in your Google profile account. Now, for this AD Azure Active Directory, B2C or normal Active Directory, both are same. So Blazor app to what is that, Azure AD. Probably this information is available in many places, but still I'm trying to explain it to the way which I understand in a very easy way after digging a lot of data. Okay, we are contacting Azure AD BTC B2C. What it does is, in the Azure AD B2C, uh, we will get the response back to app only. Okay, same way. But here the extra over configuration is, we are configuring Google, Facebook, everything, or any IDP providers, any third party, anything you are configuring and feeding it to Azure Edit system, Azure portal. Okay, it's called identity provider registration. All those things you are doing it in the system. Okay, so once you do this, so you have the control. I mean, you will be in your application. You are just giving the details of this Azure AD B2C only. You don't give any information of this particular one. So the advantage and negative both. I'm just trying to mention. The advantage is you are mentioning only one. Even if you add, for example, today you have only Google, tomorrow you have added Facebook, and then you added Microsoft. You can just keep adding, no issue at all. So everything maintains in this single place. Okay, earlier also here you are doing. So here what happens in the normal flow, you are maintaining the identity system, something called ASP.NET Core Identity, ASP.NET Identity using probably like application DB context, all those things. Application DB context usually. It's having a DB, tables, roles, everything you are having. Every time the performance of your application, half of the performance goes on this particular itself. When you are running this across, I mean, independent of Azure or anything, then that is best option. Okay, but if you are with Azure itself, then the advantage is you are going with this. Here with this itself, probably if you go with Azure Active Directory instead of B2C, means B2C means business to customer. So here you are allowing social accounts also. If you go with Azure Active Directory, then you have the role management also. But when you go with Azure AD B2C, you will not have the option of role management. Okay. So for that purpose, you need to think of like additional claim, additional attribute. Okay. It's called additional attribute. I'll just show you the screen. The additional attribute you need to add something like user role or custom rules, like a comma separated value or something like that. You have to add. Probably this all information you might be already getting from different threads. I am assuming. So now when we are adding this particular Azure AD B2C, the tenant ID, client ID, all those things, then we'll just log in and go for it. Okay, that is the first step. Then we'll go for the custom attribute trading claim and all those things. Okay, yeah, let's jump back to the app. Let me add the configurations of this Azure AD loading first step. Okay, don't worry. This data is, I'm just trying to change the some value A to Z, A to B, something like that. Okay, this is where I think I killed more than my half of day or full day. Okay, that is the reason I'm just trying to stress on this particular. The instance, if you are running with Azure AD BTC, what you are doing is you will be creating your own Active Directory B2C customer, all those things. Okay, so that instance name you have to give, that is required, and client ID and callback path. Callback path means once after login where you will be coming back. Okay, domain is the one which probably this name. and this both are same. Okay, usually. Not usually, always. Here this is the instance name, this is the domain name. How usually it builds is instance slash domain slash your sign up or sign in policy id, these three plus sign in slash oidc, all these four together, and it sends the client id in the request and it does the authentication, all those things. Okay, so now let's jump back to the Azure portal. So this is what the information required at the first step. So I didn't gone through any separate coding, I'm just clarifying you again. So these are the informations required. How to get this, all those things, I'm just going back to the app. In the Azure portal, we are having Azure AD B2C. Okay, before that I want to clarify some more things. You are having Azure web app. Okay, you have Azure web app. Inside that you have database, all the permissions or many other connection strings, all those things you will be having. Okay, it's all different matter. Now this Azure AD B2C, active AD means Active Directory B2C. This is totally a different entity. This can be in any what you call subscription, what is that, any other place, resource group or any other place. Okay, this can be at any different place, this can be at any different place. Okay, so these two are linking inside your code only. In your code, the one configuration I was mentioning, so in this place you're mentioning that connection details. Okay, now let's jump back to the code which is already I configured. Still I'll just show you Azure AD B2C. Okay, this is where I just came back. So here this one you have to create. For example, overview, you can see I have multiple directory and all those things. Here this one directory I have my all the content in one, the second one or third one. Now my right now my Azure AD B2C is in this particular first one. So I'm just configuring in this. So now the thing is my domain is this particular one, NAMADHU. This is my domain name. Okay, so for this particular only, I'm just trying to show. You can see I'm just keep creating one or the other way. Earlier NEAMMA, now NAMEA. I'm just keep doing this. It's for testing purpose. But the pattern is same for all. Okay, so the instance name is this one, nemedhu.b2clogin.com, and for this on Microsoft.com. Okay, this is the one. Now back to okay Azure AD B2C. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, client ID. How to get client ID and domain? Okay, domain you understand the same way. This one domain name is this one. NEMMA dot on Microsoft, and then again this is dot b2clogin.com. Both you got. Client ID is the one remaining. Okay, client ID is under. Okay, yeah. Now this is your what you call. You created a tenant directory. Just think of app registration. You have to do here. You just click on not owned application. You have to click on this all applications. Here you have to do new registration. When you say new registration, what type? Yeah, this is the most important, especially usually people getting missed out when you're doing for POC or whatever it is. Accounts in this organization directory only. I mean, the name you can give, whatever the name you give, that name appears to the common people, all those things in the later place. I'll just come to that. So what type it is? Accounts in this organization directory only, I mean within Azure, or Microsoft Entra ID tenant, multi-tenant for different tenants, or for authenticating users with user flows. Okay, so user flow in the sense multiple step. I will just show you. So you have to choose this particular first one. I can't create multiple one because I reached my today limit. That is why I'm just not registering any other things. I'm running this in the demo subscription. Okay, so we have to just do this and give the name. Okay, once you are done with it, it just makes like this two entry. One is this B2C extensions app do not modify, it just clearly appears there, you don't touch it up. Okay, this is the one, smart town your app something I just gave like that. This is the client ID. I hope you are getting my point. So this is the client ID for this particular one. Okay, Now you just created a app and you just registered what type of app it is. Okay. Now this sign up, sign in policy ID. Okay, let me jump back. So I was just mentioning what type of authentication, all those things. This is the identity providers. Identity providers in the sense I was just mentioning, you can just do social account identity authentications, all those things. Any other these things, even you can add multiple more also, new Open ID Connect provider, all those things. Here you have to just go on, click on this particular. For example, let me click on I didn't configure Microsoft account. You just click on this and fill this particular. These details you have to configure in Microsoft Portal. In the Microsoft Portal, you have to give this callback URL as this one. This pattern is same. Even in the Google Cloud Console, the same thing. You are giving redirect URL as this one, and that returns a client agent, client secret. You just paste it here. I can't show it here because I just did the same thing. It appears my client ID, client secret, which is using for demo. Then I have to delete all those things. Okay, this is how you do for any number of all this. You can add whatever you add here. It appears in this login screen. Okay, once you do this, user attributes in the sense, by default system having many properties, but still you wanted to add more custom attributes. This is for example, as I was mentioning, I'll just show you an example of the user. Let me take up, yeah, this particular user, for example, this particular user is this is by default role, user structure. If you see users as a class object in the ASP.NET identity system, uh, this is not ASP.NET core identity system. This is Azure identity system. Don't mix it up. Okay, one sec. You can see here it appears like this. You can see the properties here. It shows user principal name and many other properties. Okay, these are the properties. Apart from this, if you want something, if you look at here, you won't get any place called roles or something. You don't get it up. So for doing that, you need to add more property like user attributes. This is called custom attribute, user attributes, all those things. Okay, here many are inbuilt. You can see built in. I just added few things, custom. You can see roles car, roles internal, roles down, something like that. I just keep adding. The adding pattern is simple. Just go here and just give something like roles, whatever, something like XYZ, whatever it is. You can just give string type, boolean, int, whatever the way you give it, just stores in the system. It means instead of having separate database, you are storing everything here itself. Okay, this is not for replacement of database, but it is a kind of extraordinary system. Millions of users authenticating through Azure portal. Okay, if you are wanted to use the same thing, instead of you are developing database, all those things, this is a simple way. Okay, so this is how you add this particular one, user attributes. Once you added the user attribute, the next step is you have to create okay, authentication methods, all those things. It comes here. Okay, leave it up. Okay, this is not required. Okay, this is not required. Now you just added attributes. You added identity providers, API connectors. You don't take it up in the beginning. Then you have to do user flows. How you wanted to log in? There are two ways: identity experience framework or user flows. Now I'm going through user flows. How the user flow means, when the user is logging in, how he has to log in and what is the condition. How you added identity provider, but it's not chosen in your system. You are having hundreds of it, but for example, like one type of application, same identity system, one type of application you wanted to use some different configuration, another different one. I'll just show you, you'll understand. So sign up and sign in. I'm just choosing. For the beginners, you just better choose this one itself. Azure Portal, this is a defect kind of. It appears like a grayed out, but it is actually no. Then recommended is this way. Don't go with standard legacy. Just do, once you do create, you will come to the next page. Here you have to choose what type of it is. Okay, I was just showing, this is the name, sign up sign in policy ID. Okay, this is the one I just gave. Okay, now I'll just show you. This is the name I had given. You can see B2C one underscore this particular one. You will give that name, and then what type of it is. I had given two things, Google and Facebook, and phone sign up also. You can do that if you want. You don't want to go with phone sign up or user ID confirmation or even email confirmation and all. I'll just tell you one trick. For example, now recently I had a requirement like they don't wanted to go with their users are very less technical people. They can't enter OTP and all those things unnecessarily. Okay, so for that, Here you have to choose one sec. User attributes. Okay. Okay, not there. Okay, sorry. I just missed it. Okay, new user flow, sign up, create. Here I'll just give it as XYZ. None. I'm just giving local accounts as none. Uh, I'm just trying to mention the option like you don't want it to go with any other OTP. Default, whatever Google sign in happens, it has to proceed. Okay. Multi-factor. If you make it off, then only it will not ask for OTP, all those things. If you just made it conditional or something different, then it will keep bothering you. And enforce conditional access policies. It means if you enable this, it must ask for either email OTP or SMS OTP. Now yeah, here is the that place, because this is one of one of my video. Some guys are asking, sir, my whatever I add, my identity is keep asking for email OTP, all those things, even though they had selected Google email. Again, it is asking for that. The reason is you might have selected this particular email address check mark. This is collect attribute. Collect in the sense, whenever a user logins from the user and identity provider Google, for example, I wanted to collect the email details, and this email is with user confirmation. So that is the reason user has to enter his email ID, even though he might have logged in through, for example, abc1 at gmail.com, but he don't wanted to give that. He's just using that for login, but he wanted to give abc2 at gmail.com for the application purpose. Then he can type that, and then that OTP, because I can't give my country prime minister email ID to make his email ID spam box, all those blasting. So to address that scenario, it sends a OTP. Otherwise, by default, it takes whatever the logged in email ID, that also it takes, but this is the additional tick mark. You just untick this. Okay. Whatever you tick here, this left side collect attribute, if you tick anything, that will appear to the users. Okay, this one. Return claim means once after login happens, for every action of your regular usage time, these data will be returning over the claims. That is the purpose. Okay, so once you do this and then create this, choosing this particular one, I already created. That is the reason I'm just trying to show all the options. So this had to be enabled, these two, and then create. That's it. It will be created in a moment. So right now it already happened. Actually, my today limit has been reached. That is the reason I'm trying to show with the existing itself. So for example, now here I just did that itself, the same thing. If you just visit back once after create, this use screen will come. The properties, what are the properties? Identity providers. If you wanted to enable the captcha and all, everything by this internal system itself. Identity providers Google, and this I had chosen in my previous something like city display name. Yeah, here I wanted to show you something. For example, something like this. I'm just choosing what type I want. Um, this is my custom actually. That is the reason I'm just trying to show it here. Roles card, blah blah blah, all those things. And remember one more thing: whenever you make any changes, few things, if it doesn't reflect back, just you have to grant permission. That's that kind of issue it used to occurs. Okay, one sec. User attributes. Okay. Not here, not here. Okay, sorry. I just missed again. If I choose this one, roles card or something, this custom, if I enable this, this will appear to the users itself. Okay, then he will type. For example, if I need to give option like, do you wish to give your something like your favorite animal name? Then give that option, favorite animal name. Then that will be read from the user. Okay, so for that purpose, user attributes. Application claims means within your application. Okay, see, it is wait asking for wait. Okay, it is done. Application claims. What are the claims you wanted to retain? These are the claims you wanted to retain. Okay, page layouts. How do you want something like custom? All those things you can play with this. I don't go with all those fancy stuff. Okay, now back to the code. And okay, client ID. Yes. Okay, now this is the client ID. Okay, 08 start from 169A4. Okay, this is the one I had to add at this particular place. Okay, I'll just add it and I'll just hide the screen. Okay, there are two articles, very nice article for these two. I am referring. I have gone through many articles, but not everything is good. Okay, this is the best one for first one, how to create the configuration, all those things. I'm just going through this. I will just paste this end of this. You can remember easily blazorhelpwebsite.com. The similar way, we also created another called blazor.in. Uh, for the sake of easiness, organization name when we do the creation of create a new tenant, initial domain name, whatever we do, everything is very self-explanatory. This guy has done a really great job. I forgot his name. Register application, new app registration. So what type of it is? Yeah, this is one grant admin consent to open ID and offline access permissions. This should be given. New user flow. You have to create this. We did it. We did it. And then recommended is this, and then we did it. And what type of it is email and MFA enforcement. Even I just suggested you just disable it. Yeah, display name, whatever you wanted, those things. If you just enable it, it just shows whatever is his display name in his Google account. It just appears. Then he can edit. For example, my name is Madhu. I can just change it to like Abraham. Then it doesn't make any problem. It just allows because we are giving the option. Other, if you don't want to give the option, just untick this and just read it directly. So it just creates this, and then we have created the same way Azure AD B2C, the same whatever I just did. Launch settings here, just the configuration. I divided it already default. App registration. Here actually little thing is missing. I'll just show you. So app registration is this one. Here add a redirect URI. Okay, yeah, I just missed it. I already added it in my place. I'll just show you. Add a platform, you have to choose, and then web, you have to choose. For example, our case is Blazor web app, and this one. What is your local host? That URL. If you are deployed system, then that URL also. By default, you have to give one, and then you can add multiple. Okay, once you do this, update the app settings.json file. Here you have to update these things. Okay, yeah, this guy has made very good things. But here b2clogin.com/tfp, this is the extra thing, but you have to avoid this. It is not required tfp. Okay, your sign up policy, these two things don't bother in the beginning itself. Okay, okay, domain name is this one, application client id is this particular one. Actually, this guy had made it little probably 4 5 months back. That is how slight difference is there now. I'm just making this video in the month of September. This was maybe probably the March month. Okay. Now back to the code of the project. These packages had to be added. Yeah. By default, this will have only one WebAssembly.server in the this particular one, and in the client is this one components.webassembly. But we need to have up to these many packages. I'll just add one by one. I'll just tell you what it is. Azure AD B2C.UI means for making the login screen, all those things. If you add this packet, it handles everything. And OpenID Connect, that is another one for connectivity. And Microsoft Graph, this is for the sake of adding more clients, all those things, not for by default basic one. Identity.client, this is also for that only. Identity.web and identity.web.ui, this also for this ADB2C screens only. Okay, I'll just pause the video and I'll just add all these things here. Here you can see it is having by default interaction of server components, WebAssembly components, all those things. So now for this addition to this one is we need to have identity, I mean authentication system, all those things. Okay. For doing that, we need to have cascading authentication state and few things. I'll just show you quickly. I'll just copy what are the few lines, not much. It is really, it makes a lot of developer effort will be reduced with this. Okay, this is the new line starts, sorry, new code, you can say. This one new code ends, this itself magic. Okay, okay, here OpenID Connect defaults, I already added the package. I'm just adding it. Microsoft Identity Web App. Okay, Identity.web I already installed. Identity UI. This is web.ui. Yeah, we added this. What it does is, I'll just tell you, HTTP client. This is for the sake of you wanted to access the application code within your code. For that purpose, you need to go with this, and HTTP content accessor for different purpose. All those things like within the access content accessor, and content accessor same thing. This is like a dependency injection for initiation. and then add authentication of this particular what scheme OpenID connect defaults dot scheme and web app Microsoft Identity web app using this configuration. This is for that purpose. And by default, Blazor, you will not be having any controller, all those things, but you need to add this particular add controllers with views and Microsoft Identity UI. Okay, new code ends here. So, addition to this, you are not having any authentication or authorization code. For that purpose, one second, use static files, use anti-forgery. So within this you need to have routing and a few things. I am just trying to make save the time. Okay, it just says this is the new code. Routing, authentication, I mean you have to authenticate then authorization. This is how the middleware, the order has to be in this fashion. Okay, once you do this, the basic authentication, this is enough. Okay, with this, probably one sec. Okay, I'm just trying to go to the article. Okay, in the main layout.razor file, you need to have this particular component. Okay, this is for the sake of login, logout. You have to refer this particular within application. If you have something like action login or any other, usually what used to have in the default authentication, action slash login or account slash login kind of. Instead of that, this is the way, because we are right now we have chosen none as the authentication mode. So now I'm adding this particular one, main layout.razor. Okay, where it is? Ding, ding, ding. Where is my layout? Okay, layout. Whether it is in the client mode or server mode, you can have the same thing. Nothing wrong. Uh, this is the how you need to have. Okay, it says what is the context? One sec. Okay, for having this particular context, you need to have this particular line. It means ASP.NET Core.components.authorization, nothing else. Okay, context.user.identity.name. This is same in even in ASP.NET Identity also same thing. Both. This is trying to all in the family of Microsoft things. That is the advantage of using within the Microsoft. Okay, so that is how we did it. Did it. Let me run quickly. Earlier empty application was run. Now I'm just running with the application of this particular one. Okay, it is. It will be running. Ting, ting. I'm in dual screen. Okay, it says this is the one, sign in with your social account, the one I just gave the code. Just clicking this particular one, it is trying to load. Okay, the major page came. How this all the stuff? Where is the code? All those things. Yeah, I'll just answer you back to the portal. Tan. Okay, here the page is we have chosen in the flow. We have chosen two authentication. What is that? Google and Facebook. That is how the two options appearing here. The two options, Google Smart On, Facebook Smart On kind of. And then page layout, this is the one it is coming from here. Okay, for this page layout, in multiple places you have the option to add what is that, what do you call, so what is the background image or many other things. When you do this particular one, where is the company branding, here you can upload the images, all those things. Okay, so now, if I choose this Google Smart On or Facebook or whatever it is, immediately it jumps to the Google normal page authentication and just all the cover up. Okay, before that, I wanna delete my users already logged in. Okay, okay, these are the users for testing I just added. Okay, even deleted users also I can do. I have it here. Let me clear up these users. This is just like a database. I mean, no, in your normal folder, when you delete a file, it goes to recycle bin. Then if you delete permanently, it just gone, appears. Okay, now it came back here. I had to type my email ID. Okay, what is this? One sec. I think the session expiry or something. Let me see. You need to type your email ID. Uh, if already logged in the same browser, it just asks for confirmation. If you do just do continue, then it appears to this screen. I have told you the collect attribute. I have chosen these three attributes: the city name and my name and state province. So I can just give continue. That's it. If I do continue, it just enters into the application. Okay, it is back. This is my name, lengthy name. That's how the login complete. Okay, that is what the total flow. The whole magic is you didn't added any code, a page code or something. You added this particular code for the login purpose, and in the program.cs you added these four lines. Even this is in the same any other authentication. So these are the four lines of code. It does everything. The screen, even if you forget or something, all those options you can give everything. Because the advantage here is you're just logging in through the application of the Google, because Google is maintaining everything. Google or Facebook or whoever the XYZ, they are maintaining everything. You reset password with them itself. You don't do anything here, so you no need to bother. Okay, so this is how the identity system happens now. I mean, authentication happened. Now you need to have authorization. For the authorization purpose, as I was telling, you don't have the roles here in the rollback system. You don't have here. The reason is you're here. You will have roles and administrators. Okay, these roles and administrators are for the sake of within the Microsoft system. Here we are giving Azure AD B2C means B2C means business to customer. He can be like he might be having Google, Facebook, hundreds of any other third party. For those all the things we can't give the roles here. These are the roles are for that purpose. Okay, these rules we should not allow for these kind of users. If you are very much specific and they are internal users, then you can add them to this any of the group. But don't take up this one as a role of that particular one. Now, for the sake of this user attributes, okay, sorry, here I have just added a user, right? That user uh, just now logged in. So that user you can just open here. If I just open here, I can see his details in all this in my system, but it won't show any of my password or anything. Nowhere any leakage. Okay. Today it looks like Azure portal is little down. That is the reason it is taking time to appear. Okay, this is about till now what I have shown is integration of authentication. I mean ASP.NET Core AD B2C with the system. Simple. But if you try to do it, it might have killed you a lot of time. Okay, this is, you can say, chapter one is over. Now the next point is you have you need to maintain, for example, like additional claim, because you don't have database in normal way. You are maintaining the user roles or user interest or user, for example, like user body height or weight. You wanted to maintain in this particular itself, then you need to add the custom attribute, as I was just showing you earlier. Here user attributes, I just added something like card roles or something, roles card, roles internal, roles town, like that. So for that purpose, let me come back to the code.